Hello everyone, it's Reina, and today we're going to be taking a look at my 10th anniversary Ninjago display, which is just this top shelf area right here. Just this stuff. Of course, I have more Ninjago display around there, and I was going to show off the whole thing, but I didn't finish. Some of the shelves are still a mess. The shelves that aren't a mess are on my Instagram. You can see some posts from a few months ago now. I haven't cleaned anything in a while. But I'll link my Instagram in the description so you can see the shelves that I have cleaned. Some of them aren't Ninjago, but most of them are. You can also get some pictures of this one on there, so yeah, if you're interested in my shelves, which I would assume you might be if you're watching this video, you can check out my Instagram if you haven't already. This video is just going to be about this 10th anniversary display right here, to say farewell to 2021 as the 10th anniversary year of Ninjago. So the centerpiece for my shelf is of course the Monastery of Spinjitsu, which is like one of my biggest Ninjago sets aside from the Destiny's Bounty, which I have two versions of, and those both have their own places, so this felt like the proper centerpiece to me. It's a building relevant to the beginning and the current era of Ninjago, so I think it works well with 10 years, and it's just really beautiful, so I like having it there. And of course, front and center we have my favorite version of each ninja, along with Pixel and Wu. Kai probably isn't my favorite Kai. I don't really have one Kai figure to choose because Kai was my favorite ninja growing up and he meant a lot to me. A lot of different minifigures have a lot of good memories with them, so I just picked one. But other than that, this is my favorite version of each ninja, and they all have gold weapons to match the gold figures for the 10th anniversary. And of course we have one gold figure on each side. These are my only two, and I'm okay with that. Nia is my favorite golden figure. I took her mask off because I think she looks better without it. And Lloyd also doesn't have a mask, so they really match that way. They also each have a gold weapon, Lloyd having his signature sword, and Nia having a dagger like the one that she has right there, because those were the weapons that she had in the first set I got her in the spinner, what that figure is from, aside from the hair. But yeah, that's the centerpiece, just like my favorite versions of each ninja with the golden ones on the side. I think it looks really good. Over on the left we have the Overlord, some skeletons, and Cole's bike. Skeletons being like the first villains makes sense to have right here if you're going from left to right looking at it. And of course, Samukai being a really cool figure. I had to include him. That was a figure I really wanted when I was younger, but I didn't get him until like 2019. So, very special figure to me, and he's fighting Jay right there. I included the Legacy 1 suits of every ninja except Lloyd. I do have the golden Legacy 1 suit, but not the standard one on here because there's 4 Lloyds. I didn't want to add another one. The Overlord is also the Legacy version because that's the one I have. But I think it works, he looks good there, and being one of the main villains of Ninjago, I feel like it was important to have him there. I also like having the Skull Bike, because this was the first Ninjago set that I owned. It was technically my brother's, and I got a spinner the same night that he got this. But this looks a lot better on display, and it's like a real set, unlike spinners. So I feel like this is the best representation of like the first Ninjago set that ever came into my household. The Coal Bike is another more recent one, and I wanted to include this one here because the Coal Bike is kind of, to me, very much connected to Kirby Morrow's passing. I bought it not long after he passed, and it was kind of like my way of remembering him with this set, so displaying this set here is kind of like honoring Kirby Morrow. In the back, I have Harumi facing off against Nia because Harumi is my favorite villain, and I thought it would be cool to have like a little fight scene to include her. It was a way to fill up space and also incorporate some figures that I wanted to include on the display and didn't really know where to go with. So you have Harumi, Nia, and Skylar there, and I think it turned out pretty well. We then have the Shurikopter, another 2019 set because I got a lot of Ninjago sets in 2019. It was really the year after the movie that I really started buying a lot of sets again. Like, the movie got me back for a little bit, then I kind of fell off with like seasons 8 and 9. And in 2019, I just really went crazy. This is one of my favorite Ninjago vehicles, and also being piloted by Zane, my new favorite ninja. And I have a gold Zane hanging at the bottom because I figured that gold Zane is fitting for the 10th anniversary, even if it's not the 10th anniversary figure. It's still gold Zane. Again, 2019 set, Golden Dragon. This was the first Ninjago set I bought in 2019, and kind of the one that inspired me to buy all the rest of them, so I think it's important to display for that reason also, because the Golden Dragon is like an iconic thing for Ninjago. I think very like big moment in the show. Oh, I do have the bigger one, but I couldn't really fit that on here. Over on the right we have Clutch Powers hanging out because he's been kind of relevant to recent seasons. I like to have him there. And then we have the Serpentine with the Great Devourer being one of my favorite sets ever to play with throughout my life. I've always loved playing with this one. I don't really play with my Lego much anymore, but I still love this set. Lots of memories. Specifically the Devourer, the Ultra Dragon, is fine. Never played with that one that much. And then we have Pythor from the new Ultra Dragon, which I like better. That one's right down here. And we also have that other snake there. And then we have them facing off against Kai and Lloyd in their legacy suits with the golden shoulder pad, because that's what they do for season 1 now. And then young Lloyd is in the middle trying to choose a side, kind of representative of his season 1 story arc. The far right here we have Garmadon, because he's a big Ninjago villain like the Overlord. Not always a villain, sometimes a good guy, but either way, always an important character, so of course I had to include Garmadon on the display. And all the golden weapons I included with him, also a very important staple of the show. In the back there we have Dareth, another important reoccurring character, somewhat important at least. And lastly is the Fire Dragon, which is the most recent Ninjago set that I bought. I wanted to include this one on the far right because the first Ninjago set I owned, the Skull Bike, which I already went over, was on the far left, so it kind of goes from beginning to end in this one display, and I think that that's a really nice way to celebrate 10 years. First set, last set. Of course I'm gonna buy more, but last set for now. And yeah, that's my 10th anniversary display. I know I probably talked about this for way longer than necessary, but I really do put a lot of thought into my displays. They mean a lot to me. Like, this is how I show my love of Lego, and I have a lot of love for Lego. So I put all that love into these displays. I don't really play with my sets that much anymore, like I said. I still animate, of course, but you can't animate with all of this at once or anything like that. So this is like the main way that I just like show off my love of Lego, and I like to do it in a way that has a lot of meaning to it and also looks really nice. So if you want to see more displays like this, let me know. I will happily talk about the thought process of my displays for hours on end, because it's really something I'm really passionate about. So thanks for sticking around this long if you did, and yeah, thanks for watching.